Hi, my name is Maria, also known as Maria Layton on Instagram. I was invited today by the Wedding Flea Market to come on and talk to you guys about their new, I was invited by the Wedding Flea Market to come on and talk to you guys about their new segment, their new video series called Pop the Question. Did it, nailed it. So I asked my followers to submit some questions about the wedding planning process in general and my wedding planning process. And we actually printed them out and put them into a bowl, and I'm going to pick them and answer them for you guys. Okay, so this one says, we're 3 weeks away from our wedding. How did you deal with the stress leading up to it? I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but stress is pretty inevitable in the wedding planning process. I would say one of my good friends, Kristen, gave me the best advice, and it was to not wait until the very end to do all your DIY things, your tables, your just understanding what the decor is going to be. I wouldn't wait until the end to do all that. Those are little things that you can do in the beginning, and then you can take the last month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks to spend time with your loved ones and spend time with your fiance, being fiancés for the last 3 weeks before you get married, and enjoying that time before you are then husband and wife. I think personally that's the most important thing with getting rid of stress. Getting all the little things done before and not procrastinating, waiting till the end, and enjoying the last bit that you have as fiancés. This question says, how to stop worrying about everyone else's opinions. What I try to do in this situation, I just tried to remember how much money is going into the wedding and how much of your money and your parents' money and your husband's money or whoever's money, and not the people who are giving their opinions money. They're not the ones paying for anything. So do it your way, it's your wedding, and once it's all said and done, you're the one looking at the photos in 20 years, not them. So your opinion matters here. Also to remember that this is about marriage and not the wedding. Like, I understand the wedding is very, very important, but having it your way is so important, so much more vitally important, because it's your marriage. That the reason this whole celebration is happening is because you're getting married, and that's what matters, and not everyone else's opinion. And I feel that you just have to remember that in the process, and tell yourself that, and surround yourself with people who are on your team and that will tell you that, and that want to hear your opinions about your wedding and not entering their opinions about your wedding. This question says, I'm having the hardest time with picking out wedding colors, also table settings. What are your favorite colors? Like, what do you like? That's the thing here. I feel like having neutrals is really a go-to if you don't want anything crazy. If you are having trouble with picking colors, neutrals is always good. Our colors were dark green, black, white, and brown, and that no one could really go wrong there. Everything was super neutral. Even if it was a shade of brown, it still matched. I had all my girls in different shades of brown, so it matched perfectly. So I think that that's understanding like what you like. And with table settings, I feel like go on Pinterest and just grab like one thing that you like on Pinterest that's in a table setting, and then go from there maybe. Just pretty much like what your basic interests should be on the table. I really like nature, so ours was really like woody themed and nature themed. This question is from Lauren Granada. What's up, girl? Love you. How do you plan things without hurting or upsetting other people? I think this kind of piggybacks off of the other question that I just answered too. This is your wedding and this is your marriage, and other people's opinions are really good to have, but I would just stick with meditating on the opinions that are, again, from your loved ones and from people that care about you and that are on your team. For instance, my mom felt really left out in the wedding planning process because I was doing more of the decor and the planning of what the wedding was going to look like, and I didn't really want anyone's help in that area because I'm really like anal about what things look like with that, and I wanted to take that on mainly, and I'm really bad at the planning parts of things, so I let her take the reins on that. But in general, my mom felt really left out. So instead of me just pushing her to the side and hurting her feelings more, essentially what I think it just made us closer, because we just talked about what her needs were in this and why she felt left out, and we squashed it, and that's pretty much it. When I told her that, Mom, this is not something that we should be arguing about. This is a time, I'm getting married and I need you to be on my team and not be upset about what's going on and what you're involved in and what you're not involved in, because I need you right now. So moral of the story is, I think essentially what you should do is communicate with people. If you're worried about upsetting them, then mention that and be real, and just squash it. Just don't make it a big thing. How did you find a venue for your bridal shower? I'm a maid of honor and I'm struggling. Okay, so I've actually never been a maid of honor, and I've only been in one wedding, so I don't have like a lot of advice on that, but narrowing things down, like taking your biggest wants and like what's in your budget, like 5 venues, and then narrowing them down to what essentially will work, what would look good in photos, what has enough space for how many people you're planning on having. Also, don't stress too much about it. It's a big deal, but it's really not. This question says, what is your favorite memory of your wedding day? I'm really passionate about this question because I got a piece of advice a couple weeks leading up to my wedding, and the main thing that I remember from my wedding is this memory. A good friend of mine, her name's Kelly, she told me to make sure at the wedding, whenever at the wedding, to take a step back alone and look at everything, and look at the details of it, look at who's there, look at your husband or wife, and take it in, because 95% of the day is pretty much a blackout, which was true for me. I don't remember much about it because everything happened so fast, and I was so stressed out most of the day that I don't remember much, but I will hold on to that memory forever. When I took a step back and I looked, I'm gonna get emotional. I looked at everyone that I love, that everyone was there for me and my husband to celebrate our marriage. And that, again, that's what it's about. It's the marriage, the covenant between 2 people, not the wedding. The wedding is the stressor, and it's a really big deal, but it's also about the marriage, and you have to remember that in the wedding planning process. I'm going to end this with my best piece of advice for you guys, and that is to prepare for your marriage. It's super easy to only prepare for the wedding, but I think it's important to prepare for your marriage as well. We took marriage classes to get married in our church, me and my husband, and learning about each other and learning each other's love languages. And his love language is quality time, and mine is acts of service and receiving gifts. And not knowing those things about each other going into marriage could have made things pretty rocky, but spending time with couples that have been married for years and couples that are newlyweds, and getting their advice on the marriage and preparing in general for the marriage that comes after the wedding. I think that is one of the most important things in this, and that's my best piece of advice to give you.